I'm here with Adina, now Jewish nanny, previously non-Jewish nanny, and here she is in Australia to talk to us today.
Okay, I'm here. I'm so in love with Australia, like to the point where I keep saying if I have a midlife crisis, like I'm moving to Australia.
That's
done.
what everyone says when I interview
I'm never
them.
coming back. I love this place. It's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, my first question was, how has Australia treated you so far?
Okay, amazing. I love it. I love the people. Like I love the country. We just got back from Cairns. We did the Great Barrier Reef. We scuba dive. Oh my gosh, so excited! And I'm gonna hopefully see a kangaroo and a koala tomorrow.
Wow. And what gave you the idea to share your life as a nanny to Jewish families?
I never really intentionally tried to become like known, famous, an influencer for being not Jewish or Jewish, whatever you want to say. I had a TikTok account that was posting, it was like my normal name, my username, Adriana Rosie, and it was like posting about like my life, all my different jobs. I was an opera singer, I was a bartender, and I was a nanny, a non-Jewish nanny for Orthodox families in Boca Raton, Florida. And yeah, I just would post about every aspect of my life, and the things that like really took off were the Jewish things. I didn't know why, but yeah.
And post October 7th, how did your presence on social media change? People's reactions to your videos, the content?
I was so depressed, honestly, after October 7th. I mean, all of us were, but like my messages in my inbox were just flooded with people being like, thank you for, I was actually still in my conversion process, which is why I felt a little guilty even, like, oh no, like what if they think that I only am supporting Israel because I'm converting? Like, that's not the case. But my messages were full of people just saying thank you. Thank you for standing up for Israel. Thank you for standing up for us and like loving us. You're incredible. But it broke my heart because I was like, who wouldn't? And obviously now I see in this world that is so like, wow, a question to be asking. But like, yeah, who wouldn't? This is such clear, like an atrocity, and like the Jewish people in Israel, I love them. But in general, my content though, I still try to keep it like uplifting and like joyful, because like I knew that my following needed that. I don't know, yeah.
And when converting with Orthodox Judaism, they discouraged you several times. Was there ever a time where you thought you should give up?
No. I mean, like maybe I'm just like stubborn, but like I mean, at a certain point, like I never thought no. It was hard, but I got to a point where I was like, I don't, like, is it really going to be until I'm 30, 35? Like, I just prayed to Hashem, please don't let that happen. Like, I want to have kids, I want to get married, but like, eventually it happens when you let go. Yeah, but never was going to give up, ever.
Wow. And is there a small lesson you learned during your conversion you can share with us?
Simply that, like, let go. Like, it wasn't until I let go and said, Hashem, like, I have nothing more. There's nothing I can do to make this happen, make it happen sooner, get any answers. And I had to just like let go and trust God and trust Hashem. Trust that He like always has been there for me and carried me through other problems in my life and will continue through this too. And He did. So yeah.
Wow. And now that you have converted and you have a podcast traveling the world, how does nannying fit into your lifestyle?
So I haven't been a full-time nanny in a long time. I never was a full-time nanny. I was always doing different jobs, whether it be a bartender, an opera singer, social media, Mora, even at the preschool. But I actually just did a vacation nanny stay before coming here, the whole week before. I nanny now for like I would say like my OG families, like my families, like I know them from personal like experiences, or I'll do vacation travel because it's like usually a fun experience. Like obviously pays really well because it's like a whole like trip you have to do working 24/7. But other than that, like I just have been taking like every opportunity as it comes. But as my life slows down, I would totally just fill back up with more like nanny stuff because I love kids so much. I miss them.
And now, is there any piece of wisdom that you'd like to share with the wider Melbourne community?
So funny. I don't know how wise I am, but like maybe can you give me like a category? Wisdom of what? Like a wisdom with Judaism, wisdom with work, social
combating
media.
anti-Semitism.
Okay, fine. Be unapologetically like Jewish, a religious Jew, an observant Jew. I always say that like even with my own family, like I spoke about this recently on my podcast, like it wasn't until like I took my Judaism seriously and like like I, for example, kept fully kosher like that, like my family started to understand and really value like my values the same way and how I held them. And so whether you're just your Jewish identity is still being formed and you're like finding your way, or you're full on observant from religious Jew, never apologize for that. You know, some of my friends will be like, oh, we don't want to request, like, ask if this is kosher, or ask if this is has a hechsher on it. I'm like, ask. Like, who cares? You know, like, just be Jewish and don't be ashamed, because the world respects that. Yeah.
And what does the future for Now Jewish Nanny look like?
I have no clue. Honestly, I didn't think my future would be like here, but I hope, yeah, getting married, having kids, settling down. I would be an influencer still, but like at the same time, maybe I will be like take a step back. I don't know. But
Momfluencer?
not mommy blogger. I don't know exactly. Like I have no clue, but definitely ready for this chapter came. I'm just living it out. Can't say I don't mind like traveling the world, going to Australia, and then when I get married, have kids, that'll be my next chapter. So, and then I'll learn to cook, and then maybe I'll sing again, and all this other stuff. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you guys.
Hi JTV, I'm here with the incredible Chani Lisbon. She is a touring comedian, right now on tour in Australia, or more like on break in Australia. So I have a few questions to ask her about her time here and her career. Now, you extended your trip, and we know Australia has been treating you very well.
Okay, very well.
As a reset and as a place to look after yourself, what does that look like?
So I came here to do 2 shows, and that has happened. And then I was like, I don't think I'm ready to go yet. And so then I said to Hashem, I said, make it very obvious if I'm supposed to stay. And then the next day, my friend's husband was like, I'm going out of town. Do you want to stay and hang with my wife while I'm away? And I was like, that feels like an answer. And so I extended my flight, and right now I'm leaving on the 15th. But if I find a husband, I will stay longer. It's not a joke. That part wasn't funny.
You're determined.
Determined. Yeah. I'm looking for a reason to stay longer. I love it here. I really do.
Really?
Yeah, I've been going to the gym a lot. I've been eating healthy, getting good rest. Like, I just feel like it's a very nice lifestyle here for a comedian who's not working.
Is there a highlight from your trip so far?
Ooh, I would say the night of the Melbourne show at Caulfield Shul, there was like 236 people. Who's counting? I am. And it was just a magical night. It's something that I've dreamed of for so many years, to headline in Melbourne and to be able to do it and to be so successful, and everybody had such a good time. It's definitely a highlight.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you are a comedian on a comedy tour here in Australia.
Uh-huh.
What's one thing that stands out to you with the crowds in Australia so far?
Oh, interesting. That's a good question. Everybody here is very nice. They're not disruptive like they are in America. In America, they're like, if they think they're funnier than you, they're like happy to let you know and interrupt your show. And I found that here people are way more like respectful of the art, and they'll yell something out if it like makes sense, but they're not disruptive here. I haven't gotten hecklers, you know?
Oh, wow.
You feel good about that answer, don't you?
I don't know. I've never been to a comedy show.
Ever?
No.
Oh.
Because I'm underage.
Yeah, for sure. I would let you come to my show. It's all kosher, clean comedy. You would be able to sit in the front row, honestly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And Australia is not the only place you've done a comedy tour on. Was there ever a place you've ever been surprised to be asked to go to?
So I did a tour all across Europe last fall, and I don't know if I was specifically asked to go any of those places, but I booked, shows in many different countries. And I think the most beautiful one for me was performing in Lisbon, Portugal.
Oh, wow.
Because my last name is Lisbon, and because I was in a very old Sephardic synagogue, like built in the 1800s, and that was just really special to be doing comedy for Jews in their 20s and 30s in such a like monumental space. It just felt really, really, really special.
And when did you first start mixing Judaism with comedy?
Oh. I would say I really honed in on it after October 7th. It became very clear to me that I wanted to be doing comedy for Jewish audiences specifically. And, I really geared my content for Jews more since October 7th.
And you grew up in a religious household. Was comedy ever seen as a medium of expression, even a stream of income?
So it was definitely seen as a a way of communicating. Like my whole family was like, "Who's the funnier one?" You know, but obviously I am because I'm making a living out of it. But it was never seen as a way, as a career ever. It was just more like, oh, who's like, it was almost like this inner battle, like a silent competition. But in 2020, I would say I became like a full-time comedian, and that's been the biggest blessing of my life, is doing something that I love and getting to be able to support myself through that art.
Wow. And you share a lot about your sobriety journey. What part did Judaism and comedy play in your sobriety journey?
Oh, that's a really good question. Yeah, so I am sober. I'm celebrating 18 years without a drink or a drug. I celebrated that here in Melbourne, which felt like such a beautiful gift to myself. I would say that having the relationship with Hashem, growing up super Orthodox, it definitely helped me to feel connected to some bigger power that I know is helping me to stay sober. And it's almost like every single day I get like a new start in this connection, and I get to cultivate it every single day. And I think growing up in an Orthodox home and seeing that kind of structure of like the men go to synagogue every morning and they put on tefillin, and so it's like every single day I water this plant called my sobriety, and it's just like this natural thing that happens because I've seen, like, I'm very frum or religious about my sobriety, and it's been really helpful to have that like beginning of growing up with that structure. I've sort of pivoted it, and now it's like I'm not that religious, but I'm very religious about taking care of my sobriety, if that makes sense.
Wow. And was there ever a time where you felt like you had to hide your Judaism in order to success in comedy?
Oof, wow, these questions, these are good. I like them. I would say no, but having said that, after October 7th, I really removed myself from the mainstream comedy spaces. So I think that if I was performing in regular spaces, I definitely would play down my Jewish identity, which I think is sad, especially in New York, that nobody wants to really hear about it, I don't think. So, which is why I don't really go in those spaces, because I don't want to have to hide or pretend. So I'm not a regular comedian in that sense. I would say I'm more like a Jewish comedian.
And only a Jewish comedian?
Yeah. Yeah.
And who are your comedic idols?
Somebody just asked me that recently in the last 10 minutes. One of them is Jessica Kirson. She is a Jewish comedian based out of New York, and she is so talented. Andrew Schultz, I don't know if you guys have heard of him. Yeah, he's funny. Those are two of the main. Joan Rivers, for sure. Yeah, that would be it. Yeah.
And what advice do you have for Jewish kids wanting to get into comedy?
I would say if there's anything else that you love doing, focus on that. No. I don't even want to say the word hard. It's more just like there's no path to being successful in comedy because there's no route. Everyone is like, it's like a create your own lane kind of thing. And so it has to be something that you're really passionate about in order, I think, for you to be successful. But I would say get on stage as often as you can. If there's open mics in your city, go to them. I went to open mics for years of just like getting stage time under my belt, 5 minutes here, 3 minutes here, and just getting more and more comfortable on stage, I think is really important. And then obviously work on your writing, and there's classes online where you can get help to, create your first 5 minutes. So there is help available. I would say take advantage of that. I did not get here by myself. Like, I had a lot of support, and I took classes and many classes, and And I would also say if you're doing it and you're serious, it is helpful to have a network around you of people that are also doing it that hold you accountable to showing up to the open mics.
All right, thank you so much, Chani. I really appreciate the answers to the questions.
Oh my God, thank you. Should I tell them where to find me?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Self-plug.
It's a self-plug. You can find me on Instagram at ChaniLisbon.com. It's C-H-A-N-I. Lisbon, like the city. And my website, if you want to find out more about me, is ChaniLisbon.com.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm here with
Chani, who is one of the co-presidents of WIZO Victoria. Please tell us, how did you come to be in this position?
Well, I've been in Australia for 28 years now. And as my kids grew up a bit and I had more free time, a good friend of mine said, oh, come on, let's go to a WIZO function. And we ended up at the group of the Israeli ladies. It's called WIZO Door. And I just went for the night to hear what's happening. And in the end of the night, I became a member. And slowly with the years, I just started to organize functions, made kind of donations because of them. And Ronit was the president of WIZO Door back then. And this is how I came to know her. And later on, she became the WIZO Victoria president just before us. And through our acquaintance, she kind of suggested that I'll do the role. And I think 8 years later, here I am.
And what sort of work does WIZO do in Australia, in Victoria?
We try and engage with the community as much as we can. We have a WIZO group that we're actually just starting now, a mamas group. We feel that a lot of women at the moment feel very isolated because of what's happening in the world. They're losing friends, they're losing jobs, and creating a new group for them just to come together, they feel very secure, they feel happy to share thoughts. So that group is going actually very well. We're very happy with that. So we are creating, in the Pipeworks, we're still doing things of activities for between 12 to 18. We have WIZO Kids group, and we want to create more sport activities, more getting them together outside of the school. Not just the school friends, make new friends from other schools and get more involved from WIZO. And also the older generation to be involved. We take them sometimes to the old care, just to hear stories. They like to see young faces and just to get them more in communication, not just old care, but also the community in general here in Victoria.
Right, and how do you see the future of WIZO in Victoria?
Well, we hope to grow. We hope to spread the word that, because not a lot of people know what we do. I meet people and we say, oh, we do all of this project in Israel, and we are the biggest welfare organization in Israel next to the government. So we have over 180 centers of childcare, elderly, youth villages. And people don't know that. They think WIZO is just a women organization. We are part of the UN. We have over 250,000 members around the world. And because of it, we have a voice in the UN that we can actually be present, say what we have to say. So I want people to be more aware of what we're doing and hopefully get more people on board.
And how does any Victorian or Jewish Victorian become involved in WIZO?
We have a website, first of all, WIZO website. So once you just click on it, you can see all what activities that we're doing. You can see all the groups that we have. We do a lot we have Hebrew classes. We have Mahjong classes. We have a lot of stuff for the community to get involved. We do movie nights. There is a lot of things that are being published on our website. You can become a member. It's only $65 a year, and you get a lot of information, and you get involved as much as you want. You can do nothing, or you can do a lot. We are happy for people to be involved as much as they want. And you get involved by offering yourself. We're not going to come to you and say you have to do that. So you do get a lot of women, and we have some men too. It's not just a woman, it is a woman organization, but there is quite a few men involved. And we have a lifeline in Israel too, just for men, that it's actually growing, unfortunately, because of what's happening in Israel, 7th of October. You have the men that go to the army, come back and need to deal with life. You have women that go to the army, and then the man is at home, suddenly needs to look after the family. So they have a lot of challenges, men, not just necessarily the battlefield, but actually day-to-day life. So WIZO have a hotline that they can just call and get help. So men here, we love to get them involved too. They have a lot to offer, and why not? So hopefully that will work out too.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. That is Chani, the co-president of WIZO Victoria.
Thank you.
I'm Anne, and I'm the dog lady. I'm crazy, absolutely crazy about dogs. My husband and I used to go to Israel every year, and the last time we went to Israel, we went, as we always did, to the Yeladim for the children, and I saw, and it was the dog day. So the dogs were brought in on the kibbutz, from the kibbutz. 2 vans would come once a week. On the grounds of the Ahuzat Yeladim, they have a ground there, a grass space, and it takes place, they have a special area for it. And each child was designated a dog. And that was the greatest thing for them. These were children who didn't actually know what love was. They came from homes that were completely, some alcoholics, some knew violence, and they didn't know love, and each child had a dog. Later, when I spoke to the headmistress of the school, she told me that that was their favourite time of the whole week, and all the children used to look forward to having time with their dog. And they learned how to feed the dog, how to care for them, how to groom them. There were approximately 20 or 30 dogs that would come in every week like that. They had to take their turn with the dogs. There were hundreds of children at the school, but each they had to take turns with the dogs. Because dogs teach children love that they don't have from their home, as I said before, and especially dogs. The dogs became companions to the children. So that's my story, and it's given me nothing but pleasure, because I never